For more on this story, we can go across to Kim Wehle, law professor and constitutional scholar who joins us from Washington. Thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. Now, the U.S. President Donald Trump continues to say his calls with foreign leaders are appropriate. In your legal opinion, has the president violated his oath of office?
In my legal opinion, to the extent to which he's violated the federal campaign laws, which your reporting indicates, and the chair of the Federal Election Commission here recently tweeted that accepting or seeking aid from foreigners in U.S. elections is illegal. So yes, we are in very dark waters in the United States when it comes to the president's conduct in this moment.
Now, the White House is expected to send, this letter saying that they will not cooperate with the impeachment probe until a vote is taken in the House. If Donald Trump and his entourage do not cooperate with House Democrats, will he be violating any laws?
Well, the Congress has inherent power to subpoena as part of its power to legislate, as part of its power to impeach. So there isn't actually a law passed by Congress, for example, or it isn't expressed in the Constitution necessarily, but it's well recognized under common law. And my expectation would be that the Congress will go to the United States courts to get an order compelling compliance with the subpoenas. The problem there is that it takes a lot of time, and actually the law can be a little murky in terms of the extent to which Congress itself can invoke that process. Normally, if there's a witness that will not comply with a congressional subpoena, the United States Justice Department will take that up and represent Congress. But of course, the Justice Department here is headed by Bill Barr, who's squarely in President Trump's camp when it comes to these matters.
Do you envision another article of impeachment opening against the president?
Well, right now, we don't have any articles of impeachment yet. What we have is an impeachment inquiry, which could produce articles of impeachment. It's hard to predict. My guess is, given that Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, took so long to actually initiate this process, it would be surprising if she didn't take it through to an actual, the equivalent of an indictment here for the president in Congress. But of course, as I explained in my book, my Constitution book that came out in June here at HarperCollins, the indictment has to go to the Senate for trial. And the Senate is dominated by Republicans. So at this point, it's highly unlikely there would be actually a conviction in the Senate and removal of the president. We just have to see how that plays out politically, if there's any, at some point, reason for the Republicans to leave Trump, so to speak. And even if he's not impeached and removed, whether this whole situation has an impact on the 2020 election, which as a constitutional scholar, I would say, is probably one of the most pivotal and important in the history of the United States for purposes of determining whether we have an accountable presidency or a presidency that essentially has no checks and balances.
It's a divisive issue in a very divided country. We're going to have to leave it there. Kim Wehle, thank you very much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for having me.